Hello, my name is Kandic, here with the Rutgers Observer TV, and I am here interviewing artist Denyse Thomasos, who is also a professor at Rutgers Newark. Welcome. What inspired you to become an artist?
Well, I think that there were lots of things that inspired me, but I started drawing very small, at a young age. I was 16. I went to a life drawing class, and to tell you the truth, it was something called gesture drawing, which is line drawing with movement in the figure drawing that I loved. And from there, I was introduced to painting, and I loved it.
Do you have a certain method when it comes to creating an art piece? Like, how and when do you start?
My work comes from a very political place. I look at a lot of politics. In particular, I look at prisons and structures that have confined people of color, slave boats, prisons, and burial grounds. And my work is architectural and very abstract. So one of the things in terms of the process is I try to recreate that psychology. So I start often with very small brushes on a very large scale of canvas, and I'll start in the middle, and I do this sort of hatching structure that is repetitive, and it's really to recreate a kind of confined psychology, which is very much the kind of structures that I eventually create.
And now, what is the best thing about being an artist?
Well, okay, there are lots of great things. I always, I tell my students that I have had the most magical life I can imagine. Every dream I've ever dreamt has come true, every single one of them. And one of the big dreams was to travel around the world. And I think, being an artist, you have the opportunity to live a creative life every minute of the day. So, I essentially would travel to these wonderful places, and it feels like I'm an explorer in a new territory for me. And then I would come back, and I have the opportunity to translate all that I've seen. And then, of course, the highlight is to be able to show this work in a gallery and to get feedback from audiences and so on. So I love every aspect of it.
Yeah. What advice do you have for upcoming artists?
Well, I think that artists the most exciting thing is to have, for me, an interesting life. I think how I've seen it for myself is that to generate the most interesting life and have the art be an interpretation of that.
Yeah.
And so the creativity is not so much just in the work, but it's also in how incredible and creative and spontaneous and surprising your life is. And so I think I would consider, for me, a failed artistic life if all I did all day was to paint in the studio, if I was not really experiencing life. So for young artists, I would tell them to really to really focus more on creating a wonderful life for themselves, and also having a way of interpreting that through their medium.
That's great. Well, thank you for being
You're welcome.
with us. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And for more information on Denyse Thomasos, please visit www.therutgersobserver.com.
Thank you.